We increasingly hear that cars are becoming worse every year. Although the golden era was the first decade of the 21st century, even though automotive growth is still happening in many areas. However, this does not change the fact that nowadays it is possible to observe many dangerous industry solutions and trends, which make cars more and more complicated and less user-friendly. Before we discuss the worst modern car trends, please subscribe and like the video to help us grow. Now that that's out of the way, buckle up and let's go. Many manufacturers try to disguise their cars' flaws with coolness, which causes many of the issues we'll discuss. The model names, which used to make sense, are now meaningless. It used to be that when looking at the hatch of an Audi, for example, we had a clear designation, such as a 41.9T Di or a 41.8T. We don't quite know what was wrong with these names, but the Germans decided to complicate the system a bit by introducing confusing emblems instead. Looking at the new cars from Audi, we will see, for example, an Audi A435 TFSI. Let's try to decipher it. 3.5-liter engine, 350 horsepower, or 3 liters and 500 horsepower. No, it's a 150 horsepower 2-liter gasoline engine. The Audi A445 TFSI, for instance, is a 2-liter gasoline engine with 265 horsepower. Pointless insanity. Audi is not alone, many others do the same. We naturally think of the BMW 330i as a 3 Series with a 3-liter gasoline engine, but the BMW 330i is a 2-liter. Intriguingly, the 320i and 318i also have 2-liter engines. Manufacturers also fake air intakes and exhausts to make cars look sporty and aggressive. It's bad enough that false air intakes are seen in common automobiles, but even sports cars have them. The Audi RSQ8 and new Super all have fake vents. The Japanese say these aerotunnels for component cooling are completely functional but closed because road cars don't need that much of it. Of course, the absolute king of pretend air intakes is the Honda Civic Type R. The fake exhaust tips fitted onto the lower rear bumper are also standard. Most modern engines use direct fuel injection, which increases exhaust soot and makes exhaust tips black and smeared. Therefore, it is easier to hide them deep inside and point them towards the ground, and expose the more beautiful pretend exhaust tips. But this is still nothing. Do you know what is much more irritating? The artificial engine sound played in the cabin through the audio system. Engines are getting smaller. Turbochargers, along with the entire exhaust system, rob them further of any character by making the cars quiet. As we all know, silence is not power. Thus, cars create false engine sound and play it through the audio system. The Lexus RCF, which boasts a V8, includes a sound system that can't be turned off. It is also increasingly common to put on a soft limiter so that you can't rev the engine. In ordinary civilian cars, it's okay. But putting such a muzzle on not only sports cars, but even supercars is simply a crime. Examples include the Audi R8 with a V10 under the hood, and even the Porsche 911 Turbo S does the same thing. Let's move on to perhaps the most annoying issue. Calling while driving is illegal, as we all know. Humans are single-task creatures, and conversations along with driving is beyond the driver's capabilities. So what do manufacturers do? They place huge tablets in front of our eyes. Operating something like that on our roads is not exactly a pleasure, and on top of that, most multimedia systems just don't work like they should. Maybe we are old-fashioned, but we don't appreciate anything in dashboard design as much as normal knobs and buttons for controlling the radio or air conditioning. Containing everything in a touchscreen display saves manufacturers money. It's cheaper than making buttons and testing for wear, dust, and water resistance. Modern multimedia systems have so many features that finding something can be painful. Simple things like controlling the air vents or opening the glove box are hidden deep in a menu. A strange trend is excessive safety concern. It's great that cars are safer, but sometimes these safety systems go too far. You get into your car, start the engine, and the screen shows a big warning to obey the law, fasten your seatbelts, and not use the multimedia system. Does this mean we have to stop the car every time we change the temperature? Watch out because you've changed driving mode, turned off traction control, and turned on your lights. Most people don't require such pampering. Whoever does just shouldn't drive. But now it's time to move on to trends that are really starting to be disturbing. It is clear as day that cars are increasingly becoming a service instead of a product. This is a phenomenon that is gaining ground every year. We use the car for various purposes and use it on a daily basis. This, however, is what manufacturers wanted to change. In offering the vehicle as a service, we will be giving up the use or ownership of our own car in favor of temporary access to it. And we are talking about something along the lines of car sharing, as well as short, medium, or long-term rental in the form of a subscription. This mode of car use may appeal especially to the youngest generation, for whom subscription is an absolutely natural thing. Behind this convenience, however, lies a very dangerous thing, namely the reduction of private property. It will become increasingly rare for us to own a car outright, and more often we will be able to use it when we pay for access. And while we're talking about subscriptions, we can't help but mention that BMW seems to be at the forefront of another trend: charging for access to car functions. It turns out that it is no longer profitable to make cars with bad features. German manufacturers, in particular, have come up with a great idea. More and more, every car that leaves the showroom is a full-spec model, but most of the features are locked until you pay to unlock them. Of course, you can use a one-time payment or a subscription to make things easier for the customer. They do whatever they need to do to keep the customer happy and comfortable. But what does it really look like? We'll have to pay $20 a month for heated seats, $10 for a heated steering wheel, and $15 for parking assist. We can, of course, also buy features with a one-time payment. Active cruise control will cost you about $1,000, and unlocking the adaptive suspension will cost you about $400. Apple CarPlay is software that comes with most cars for free. In a BMW, however, it will cost almost $300. Mercedes has thought of something even better. Acceleration increase will be a choice that can be made in their electric cars. Simply put, the electric powertrain has, say, 400 horsepower, but the basic version will only have 250 horsepower. Mercedes will unlock the car's full potential for $1,200 a year, reducing the time it takes to go from 0 to 60 miles per hour from 6.2 seconds to 5.2 seconds. So, as you can see, we're seeing a lot of trends in cars that are simply making them overstyled and increasingly expensive. However, we are sure that in addition to the issues mentioned, you also see other negative automotive trends. Please let us know in the comments if we missed any. That wraps up today's video. We appreciate you taking the time to watch the episode today. We hope that you liked the film and that it was informative to you. We publish new content every 2 days, so be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of the exciting stuff that will be published in the days and weeks ahead.